Welcome back to another repair video on my 2002 Chevy Silverado 1500 5.3 liter V8 Z71 4x4 with 288,000 miles on it. I recently started getting some strange oil pressure readings that were a little bit abnormal, either too low or up really high, so I figured I'd replace the oil pressure sensor located right between the intake and the firewall. Very easy to access. I'm kidding, it is not easy at all to access. And in this video, you're going to see how to remove it, some of the things that you're going to run across, and also you're going to see how to locate it. Now, I cheated a little bit. I used a Borescope so I can see where it's at, so that way I can show you guys at the same time where it's at, and so I can gain access to it, and also reinstall it without getting a bunch of old grimy oil in the oil pressure sensor before I put it back in. So let's go ahead and get into this. For me to gain access to the oil pressure sensor, I had better luck working on the right side of the engine, and the oil pressure sensor is located right here between the firewall and the intake. The socket I used, I got off of Amazon. It's the Leslie part number 13250 oil pressure switch socket. The oil pressure sensor I got is the AC Delco part number D181A, GM part number 192445505. You can find a link to each one of these parts in the description below. In addition to the socket, I used 3 extensions and a swivel joint with my ratchet to ensure that I didn't have to be hunched over the engine bay. Now let's go into the abyss. So as you can see here on the left side is the oil pressure sensor. I put the Borescope line to the right side, which is going to be also the same side I want to be accessing this oil pressure sensor. And I went ahead and sprayed it with some connector cleaner to try to loosen up or remove some of the gunk that's down there. There's a bunch of oil all around it. So first thing we're going to do is disconnect the oil pressure sensor by simply lifting that little tab on the side and lifting that up and out. Now I tried moving the connector to the left, to the right to try to get it out of the way so I could work around it and also to try and keep it as clean as possible, but it decided it did not want to go anywhere and stay right there, right in the way. So enjoy trying to get that thing to stay in a different position. Next, I got the socket and I went ahead and put it in there by hand first without the extension. So that way I can determine how much room I have to work with and also at what angle the socket's going to be at on the oil pressure sensor. And I was doing a lot of this precautionary planning because I wanted to make sure that I didn't end up breaking the oil pressure sensor. I went and got some gloves and put those on like the cool kids do in all the videos, and I went and got my extensions to see how far I can get in there with 2 different extensions that I have and see at what angle I can get the ratchet in. I was hoping that I could just do it with 1 extension and the ratchet, but that was not working out too well, so I went ahead and got a 2nd extension to see if I can get the right height so I can get the ratchet in there. Now I've realized that I'm going to need a swivel joint or a universal joint at the end so that way I can get the right angle on there. So now I have 2 extensions and a swivel joint, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it in and install it on the socket that's already sitting on top of the oil pressure sensor. And here in a second, I'm going to go ahead and go grab an additional extension for good measure so that way I can go ahead and work not leaned all the way into the engine bay and just be able to stand on my handy dandy ladder that I have sitting next to the tire. Now let's keep in mind that this oil pressure sensor could be 22 years old. It could be the original one. So guess what's going to happen with it? It's going to snap. And sure enough, it snapped. But it's no big deal because we still have the base at the bottom, which is not made of plastic, and we're able to remove that after we get the snap piece out of the way. So here's the part. You can see that it's got a little bit of the base exposed because it broke. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull it out all the way. Now let's take a quick look at it and see what we got here. I went and got the new one so that way I can do a side-by-side comparison and also get a better idea of what I'm up against. And as you can see, the base is still there, it's still in the engine, and still accessible. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the protective cap off of that. As you can see, the new one is exactly as the old one when it comes to the connecting portion of it. So we're good to go. While creating this video, I realized that whenever I snapped off the top portion of the oil pressure sensor, it left a base that kept the entryway or the opening closed off. So I could have actually went in here and sprayed it down with some type of a carb cleaner and hit it with a brush and got a lot of the stuff out of the way. So that way, whenever I went to install the new oil pressure sensor, I wouldn't get any of this gunk on the new one and get it clogged up or into the opening. Now let's get back to removing the base of the oil pressure sensor. I got my 2 extensions and I got my swivel joint, and I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the socket that I already have sitting on top of the oil pressure sensor base. I'm going to grab an additional extension so that way I'm not hunched over the engine bay and throw my back out any further. So I'll go ahead and connect those two, and I'll go ahead and grab my ratchet, and let's go ahead and get this out. While turning the ratchet, it felt like the base was, or the sensor was really loose or easy to turn. So I wasn't sure if I had the socket on there or not. So I kept on turning it just in case I did have it. And then I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. And I decided to reach in there and see if I can turn it by hand to see if that is the case, that it's easy to turn. And so sure enough, I got in there and just grabbed as much as I could of it with my hand. And yes, it was easy to turn, and I was able to finish removing it with my hand. Now, if you ever wonder what it looks like inside, it looks like there's like a little plastic screen on it, and it seems like there's a bunch of gunk behind it. Muchos interesantes. As you can see, there's a lot of oil and dirt on top of that and around the opening. So this is a portion of the video where I cheat. I use the Borescope display so that way I can guide myself to get the sensor into place. But even using the display, it was still hard to get it in there without getting some type of gunk on the opening of it. So I had to keep pulling it out and cleaning it off with a rag, and then reattempting until I finally got it in there to screw in directly into the opening without getting any kind of gunk on there. And this is with me looking directly at the display to make sure that I don't hit any of the sides of the opening that are covered in all that dirt and oil. Once I was confident that it went directly in there, I went ahead and hand screwed it in first. Then I went and grabbed the extension, the socket, and the ratchet and tightened it the rest of the way. Now, this is supposed to be tightened at 22 pounds per foot according to some specs, but I just went ahead and made it good and tight. Once we get that all secured, the next thing we want to do is we want to go and reconnect the oil pressure sending unit pigtail, or the oil pressure sensor electrical connector. And whenever we're doing so, we want to make sure that we press it all the way in and that the retaining clip goes down and over the little tab and it clicks or snaps, or just run your finger over it just to make sure that it's locked in securely. Now it's time to test my work. I'm going to go ahead and kick the truck over. Prior to replacing the oil pressure sensor, I was getting readings that were below 40 and above 60. And normally where it should sit is right above 40 pounds. Now that I've put a few miles on the truck, now it's actually sitting right around the area where it should be, which is right above 40 pounds. Thank you all for joining me on my journey as I get my truck to 500,000 miles. If you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe. If you guys are enjoying this content, be sure to hit the like button and the notification bell so that way you know when I upload another video on a repair on my 2002 Chevy Silverado 1500 5.3 liter V8 C71 4x4 with 288,000 miles on it.